What's up, YouTube? It's InDriver KG, and really quick, we're going to go over data logging for your Elantra, Ancona, and Veloster, and anything that has the EK1. So let's get into it. So before we go too deep in there, let's talk about when you first get your EK1. When you first get your EK1, you're going to boot it up. You're going to need something called a boot patch file. So no matter what tuner you go with that supports the EK1, so 6, I believe, N75. For now, I think that's the only two. But if you got an EK1, what you're going to do is sometimes the EK1 is not always accurate on the ECU code that you're supposed to use for it. So let's say for the Elantra, your SIM code is going to be SKM, something like that, 250. But you need a ECU code. Your code is going to be right in there, and that's going to tell you if it's a DCT or a manual. That's how they know what tunes you're going to be given, what tunes to get if you just want to get like an off-the-shelf tune from N75 or 6. So, like I said, the first thing you're going to do, try and remove this whole thing. This is very easy to move. There's clips here, which I remove because I'm always moving around stuff under here, and I got my blow-off valve under there twisting it. Move this out the way, you'll get the code. You'll see exactly what I mean. Next, after you get that code, you're going to get a boot patch file. What you're going to do, you're going to write your boot patch file. Simple. Then you got your tune from your tuner. But you're like, oh, this is stage 1, blah, blah, or this is a base map. I have to log this to get my custom map or to get something a little bit better for your car. So let me show you exactly what I got. Okay, everyone, let's go to the EK1. So I don't know why it's so washed out. There we go. All right, so normally when you want a data log, what you want to do is go down to gauge. It's not going to say data log off the back. Just always make sure your EK1 is updated. So to update it, it would be right here, firmware update. So you just simply do that. That's easy. All right, so like I was saying, to data log, you're going to simply go to gauge, and then you're going to go to user item mode. Sorry, it keeps getting so blown up here. I don't know what's up with this phone, but user mode item settings, particular items that you're going to need and you're going to use. So let me go to user view to show you what I use personally. So always try and do it. What I recommend, try and do it in order of the things that's most important that you're really going to be looking at. Especially when you send logs, you're going to want engine RPM first. Always put engine RPM first, because sometimes you don't know if they're using a PDF or a note file or Microsoft Word. You don't know what they're going to be viewing as, and this is most important for just a basis of what you're doing. Because think about it, when you're in boost, you got to think about it. How are they going to know that you're full throttle other than your throttle position, your RPM? So they're going to put that together. So I personally go to engine RPM because nobody's going to be at 6,500 with no throttle. Do that. Second, go down to your boost pressure. It's going to be PSI. So remember this, the yellow is what your car is actively going to be doing, I believe. All right, here, let's turn the car on and see exactly what's what. All right, so like I was saying, the yellow is going to be what your car is actively doing. Here is going to be what the greatest value was. So your engine RPM, I have to update it in higher raised RPM. So my idle is going to be around 1,000. So that's what the highest was when I first turned it on. So keep that in mind. Your boost, that's what you're going to want second. Third, I usually would put ignition timing. because that's going to be hand in hand, most important in what's going on when you get your tune. So always remember that. Your rail pressure. Now, for you guys that are going over stage 1, meaning stage 2, stage 3, whatever the case may be, you're going to want any type of high pressure fuel pump. Hopefully you got the Sonata or the new 6 one that's coming out. So your pressure when you're full throttle should be over 200. If your car is lower than 2, if it says this active and you're full throttle, there's a problem with that high pressure fuel pump. You're getting way too low pressure. If you got that update, this is what your stock pump is going to be outputting for full throttle. So you do not want the update if you plan on getting tuned. If you're tuned and you got the update, you just messed yourself up. Because I've seen the stories, somehow that high pressure fuel pump update stops or cancels tunes. So I don't know what it's doing, but I recommend not getting that and just getting yourself a Sonata pump or getting a new 6 one. So again, you're going to want that. 4th, 5th, your demand air to fuel ratio and your actual air to fuel ratio. This is going to be very important here. So this is completely normal for all Elantra and Kona ends and Veloster ends that I've seen. They all go from 14.5 to about 15.1 at idle. Like it'll go to 15.1 for a hot second and go back down to here. So you see this is fluctuating from 14.4 to 14.8. That is completely fine and completely normal for idle. When you're full throttle, you want to see anywhere between 11.9 and 12.7. That's for a really juicy tune, so that's what you want. And we'll go over what you should be at. Throttle position, that's going to be just where your gas is. So that's the throttle percentage and stuff. Very important. Intake temps. Now, not many tuners are going to ask you for the intake temps, but I use the intake temps just to see what my car is doing. Then you're going to want engine coolant temperature. If this thing exceeds 205, relax. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. And listen, some of you guys take your cars to the track, so you know exactly what your car is doing. If you go over 205 and you see maybe like 210, okay. But once this gets past 210, 220, all right, something's up. You might want to slow down. You might want to stop. Let it take a breather because something's wrong. But I've never seen this go over 205 personally. Like it was a super, super hot day. I've never seen the temperature go over that. And mind you, I'm pretty hard on the car. So, you know, just keep that in mind. That's normal. So, let me see. Do I got anything else? That is all. I think the next one is actual engine temp. So that's the coolant temp, this is the engine temp. So that's completely fine. This is good. This is what you want to see and what you want to have. So that's, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 values. So just make sure, guys, this is the values you got for data logging. So when you're going to go data logging, always before anything, up there is not the date. That's just the upgrade, the update that you had. That's the latest. What you want to do to make sure your time is correct, because when you get onto your computer and you're trying to figure out, I want to get that pull that was at 11 o'clock. All right, listen, well, if you're going to get that pull that was at 11 o'clock, make sure your time. So always go here, system time, display time. Here's what mine says, because I haven't used it in a while. That's completely wrong. It is not 8 o'clock, and it is not 2000. It's not the year 2000. Y2K, if you know. But look at this. How is this even going on here? So we're going to have to change that. 2024 for a little longer. I believe it's the 8th. Well, okay, I messed up. I didn't put the correct exact time, but I got the correct date. But you want to make sure that's correct. So when you do that, Everything should be up to date. All you do before you do your pull, try not to have your data log up the whole time while you're driving, unless you're just trying to get an idle log or just regular driving log because something's up. You don't need to have it on the whole time. Just when you're about to do a pull. That's what I send. You don't want to send this long spreadsheet of just idle time and it was like 3 minutes in before you did your actual pull. So you're just going to go to data log, and right there, just press data log. When you press it, bam, now it's going to start saving, right? Then you get right up in the corner here. That's the time that you're data logging. So I've only been doing it for 10 seconds, and it's recording all of this, just an idle. All right. So now that you got the basis for that, that's all you need to know about the data logging. Guess what? When you're done, hop out of it. They're all going to be about the same, and that's it. So you're going to either plug this up to your computer or take the memory card out, and it's going to be in your logs folder. Okay, so every data log is going to be in your logs folder, and make sure you just got the right time, because that's how you're going to tell what's what, and you should be fine. And really quick, I wanted to talk to you guys about the custom map 6 for the JB4.